Hey y'all, it's your girl Alex. We are hopping on for our lunch chat and really getting into just all of the things going on today and in the world. And oh my goodness, there's so many amazing things. What's up, Greg? Oh man, thank you. I'm so glad that y'all like this makes me so happy. Even if it's one person I have a good impact on, makes my heart so full. I am so happy, Greg. We're gonna tap in. Uriel told me to grab the sacral chakra singing bowl, so I want to do a meditation with that. And I got some notes that they were just giving me downloads on, and it's going to be good because there's just so many beautiful things going on in the universe. We had technically the full moon was this morning. I'm in Central Standard Time, so at like 6:30 my time, and full moon eclipse, blood moon, super close, super powerful. And we're in the time of like Sagittarius, where that's it's like change and transformation, but it's for the better, for the growth, for having positive things. In Pisces as well, which is like water, kind of again, these rough transitions. We just had our full moon in Scorpio last month, and that was like getting all the shit on like down deep, really bringing it to surface for really humanity. Because this, it literally is like, this is, I guess you could say, like biblical, because it is so intense how everything has lined up. Last, year in 2020, we had 4 blood moons on Jewish holidays, and that was foreseen. And it's just been like, there's all of these really insane things going on that absolutely cannot be human intervention. And it gives you a pure signification of what's going on, because I still honestly believe we're living in the book of Revelations, but a lot of people have a misconstrued or misunderstanding, miscommunication, that the book of Revelations means like us light workers, like good part of humanity is what dies, and it's not. I truly believe that it's the dark and the evil, and it's part of what helps humanity ascend higher. I don't know that I believe 100% of dark will ever be fully vanquished, simply because there is that balance in this 3D reality. But I don't know, maybe things will change. There's so many things we don't know. There's so many things that are going to pan out so differently. I've tried tapping into a few things specifically, and they said I'm not ready to know yet. So whenever I'll be ready to know, they'll let me know. But really wanting to hop in because y'all, what Metatron told me about a week and a half, almost 2 weeks ago, was, as we're leading into these energies, entering into that time, to really start harnessing and going through and cleansing each level. So he gave me basically a guide of everything. We had a fantastic celebration. Sorry, I'm doing my dragon's blood, so that's why I'm looking down, just in case you guys were wondering. But had this beautiful celebration of entering into this new earth. Right? We're just ushering in this amazing energy, just really taking advantage of it, because we truly are. We are truly ushering in, like, y'all, we have the privilege. Like, we agreed to incarnate at this time, no matter how crazy life gets, because we are literally bringing, like, biblical shit to humanity. It's so exciting because we're literally entering to this space, and it's going to take a while. It's not going to be immediate. It's not going to be like I wake up tomorrow and it's like, boo, 5D reality. No, I'm sorry. I mean, like, not as a whole in humanity. We start creating it by creating the 5D reality in us. Absolutely. Do keep doing that. However, it's going to take bit by bit, but y'all, we agreed to come here for a reason. We have big things to do, and this is how we do it. This is absolutely how we do it. I do want to get into some tips and stuff that I really want y'all to start challenging yourselves on, start doing it daily. It's super easy. And honestly, like, the first couple of days suck the worst, because that's where you're really pushing the big change in behavior. But after a couple of days, you start to kind of get into it and you start holding yourself accountable. Because when you're not doing the daily, like, cleansings of your spirit before you enter into your day, and just calling in for your guides, whoever they are, we all have them. So if you're not familiar with them, we're definitely going to put the intentions out that you do get in touch with them, because or you acknowledge it, because there's things I've looked back in the past that I totally missed. My guides were trying to, like, connect with me, and Nope, didn't even see it. And so you'll probably start getting the same thing where they were trying to connect with you and you probably just missed it. And so putting out the intentions to be ready to receive, right? You got to receive, be in that receptive energy that we all have. And, we're all energy, we're all energetically connected. It's how all of this works. And it starts with us, right? It absolutely starts with us. We have to be the ones that stand up and take back our sovereignty. We stand up for our rights as beautiful sovereign beings. Like, we all are amazing, uniquely created. We were all brought here to do something completely different. So we're not supposed to look identical to whatever idol, is pushed in our face to worship, or, all of those things, right? No, we're supposed to be us, uniquely, divinely created us, here to do whatever it is we're called to do, serving in that higher vibrational purpose, that higher space, right? And get out into nature. We're on my back porch. This is my back porch. This is what I'm staring at. So definitely getting into nature, definitely, connecting with the universe in this time too. As you're doing your meditations, if you can go outside to meditate, it's been super like cold and rainy here, so I have not wanted to go outside because I'm already not a morning person. So like this is definitely where I struggle the most even today. It's easier because I'm like in such a habit of holding myself accountable that I just do it. But especially mornings, not always my favorite time. But I'm in the habit of doing it, so I do it anyways. It makes it easier to maintain this behavior. So it can go good or bad too. So as you're doing these, I really recommend y'all seriously go in the description, wherever you're watching, there is links, YouTube links, and it talks about like the different meditations. If you go to my page on YouTube, you like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, because this is my one time that I generally come on consistently. But any other time I come on is because Spirit has told me to do something. I'm getting channel messages, whatever it is that's coming through, whatever they want me to do. And it's kind of its own little timeline. So that's how you guys can definitely stay in touch with this, because I'm always trying to put out content for people to be able to take these tangible steps. How do you get to this really big changed behavior that is desired and that I can see myself doing and being, but I'm still here? And that's what this straight to this is a big leap. No, we don't do that. We take baby steps, right? Because then by the time we're here, yeah, we made a lot of progress, but the progress was tangible and easy to maintain, easy to do, easy to, all the things, makes it tangible, makes it doable. And so just if you're new on your journey, I definitely have been getting a lot of new people, which is amazing and totally shows just like how much humanity's like consciousness has shifted. And if you're wondering what that even is, that's basically just our connection, our human. Okay, so y'all, for real, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. Okay, let me say that again. We are spiritual beings, divinely connected. Our soul is a spiritual being having a fleshly human existence here in the 3D earth. And our connection to the higher realms, to these higher selves, to our guides. I talk to Archangel Michael like on the constant. He's been like my big brother, really. Like him and I, like that was part of my contract, I guess. They downloads and stuff when he presented himself. That was part of the thing. I said I would do this, but I want help and guidance of the higher realm, not just in the human world. And that was something he agreed to. So we literally have like this big brother, little sister kind of like relationship. It's very deep and intimate. And then I've got some of the other archangels that have been coming through. A couple of them are like a little playful. One of them's like super serious, but those are my guides that I talk to. And I have ET guides. All of us have different guides that we come to. They could be angels. They could be, depending if you follow a religion or not, it might be a god or gods, however that works. But the thing is these are all higher consciousness beings connected in different ways. And we're going to do just a protection prayer, I guess you could say. And I highly recommend, as you're getting more advanced in your own skill sets and really even just starting to tap in, you start becoming this bright light beacon kind of coming up above everybody else that were around. And the thing is, you start to stick out. So it's very likely you will start to find yourself coming under attack. And it could be like really weird interactions with people just like flying off the handle, like just literally seemingly possessed, or like they can be called walk-ins or other things. And you know, being able to, uh, I know, I've thought that the same thing. Sorry, total squirrel brain. I know I saw this and I was like, I know myself too. I sometimes wondered that like so many times, like, are you sure I agreed to this? Are you sure? Because that's pretty hard to believe sometimes. But, it's tap into them, right? I remember when Archangel Michael came to me, I swear to God, I thought I was tripping. I was in my sauna and, meditating or whatever. And literally, it was so bright. I started freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh, did I like take something? Am I high? Then I was like thinking heat. And I was like, oh my gosh, am I like overheated? Am I hallucinating? Freaked out, like booked it out of my like sauna. And just like that whole interaction, terrified, but it humbled me at the same time. And just, I have been getting so many downloads from it. And finally putting all of these pieces together. I've been working for a long time on a lot of the things. I know that I had to come through a lot of trauma to get where I'm supposed to. It's part of my contract. Archangel Michael said he would mentor me and help me like stay with me divinely, make sure I didn't die. Because I definitely should have a couple of times. No joke. And it's what I agreed to. And we all come through, even if it's something really traumatic and just like kind of a thing, tap into these higher beings and start to understand why. Because like as we're starting to really allow these things to come up, Scorpio, right, we're really putting in these transformative energies where we're saying, hey, whatever is no longer serving me, please come to the surface, please reveal yourself, please show me, dig up these bones out of my, the skeletons out of your closet, right, dig them out and really start to clean house spiritually. And again, it starts in us. It starts with us being able to say, I'm going to have the courage, the creativity, the willingness to step into this ability to acknowledge, sit with, process, because honestly, sitting with an emotion or sitting with an event or whatever it is that's not really good feeling, maybe you just downright hate it and it makes you want to throw up about yourself or your history, something, right? Negative things. Just sitting with it can be so challenging. And, even if you just sit with it, and it's not that it's good or bad, it's not right or wrong, it's not anything. You are just sitting with the fact that this event, person, or whatever it is exists, that it had a moment in time, and just to sit with it, acknowledge it. Because the thing is, it might seem like, and this is how I honestly used to think until I started to really have a fuller, deeper comprehension, where I used to be like, oh, in order to make something work, I've got to chase, right? I've got to go, 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 right? Got to go after it. Yes, but in a different way. So instead of directly coming back as a pursuant, right? You're holding space for this to exist, for this to have a space to step into. And you're just acknowledging it. And that's where, like, through your manifestations, your meditations, a lot of the stuff that we're going to do, because the power of group prayer over an intention setting, even eliciting these emotions, y'all, the power is so freaking intense and amazing. We've been doing this all week. We've been really just going into just really analyzing the different pieces of ourselves this last week. And it's been so amazing because people are writing to me and they're, journaling and stuff. They're like, Alex, all these things are coming up. And, just really talking about how hard it can be too, to just sit and process and acknowledge and hold space that yes, this event happened. Because once we can hold that space, we can process it, we can move through it and heal and be done with it. We don't have to have any more lessons. We don't have to have any more karmic debt. We can literally bury it. And then we can be born again into this beautiful, more holy divine being, vibrating higher as a general. Like, not saying you're immune to negative events happening. Yeah, negative events are still going to happen, but what is your soul's vibration? Does it come down? Is it in freak out mode and just negative energy everywhere? Or do you stay higher and you're like, okay, yeah, well, we're going to have to deal with this, and just Even if you don't understand how it's going to be done, you just know because you're putting the intentions that, you're going to keep putting yourself out there. You're going to keep presenting opportunities. You're going to, keep going, but it's not consistent pursuit. And this is also where these little tips I'm going to do before our meditation is super important, that it comes in handy, so that when you start to bring forth your manifestations, you don't just stop. You got to maintain it, right? We've got to put in this effort. So yes, you're still pursuing, but it's different. It's not this direct combative. It's a very letting things happen on the time that they're supposed to happen once we put the intention out there, right? Bringing forth that space to hold for it, and then it can step in. My stuff, it got really windy out here. Definitely. So I was trying to burn some incense or some sage dipped in dragon's blood resin. And the reason I am doing that is because, for one, if you're doing any kind of protection stuff, you can do burning incense, sage, myrrh, frankincense, dragon's blood, all of that, because it helps. So because everything literally does have an energetic field, I'm trying to get this lit again to see if it works. These have a high frequency energy to them. And so when you start incorporating higher frequency things in your life, that's how you start to attract. Because think about it like this. If I'm vibrating at, have y'all ever seen, let me know in the chat, have y'all ever seen where you, like glass or, breaks once music hits a certain tone? If you haven't, it's so fascinating to watch. I always love it. I totally understand the science behind it, but it always makes me like giggle and like get all excited. I know I'm weird, but that's okay. But it's because it's so cool. It's so fascinating to me that we can quite literally shatter glass when we find the right frequency. Same thing with bacteria. Same thing with different. If you've ever heard of Rife therapy, absolutely look into it. It's spelled RIFE. And our frequency, excuse me, the therapy is the part of it. There we go. The part where you're undergoing like the frequencies and stuff. And I mean, cancer, warts, acne, the C19. Apparently, there's frequencies for that. So there's all like you can quite literally dissolve or have a direct impact on something through frequency. And so, because of that, when we are operating at the frequency that we're trying to achieve, we will find and connect in the same way. We're just naturally drawn to each other. So, we're putting in the effort on us to vibrate at that frequency of what it is we're trying to manifest, create, change, all of these things by aligning with this frequency that says, oh, hey, I'm just like you. Let me connect. We naturally think about it. And you're just your relationships, right? Those who look alike and act alike and have the similar demographics and stuff, birds of a feather flock together, right? They tend to gravitate towards each other. And, that can be good or bad. And it could be all the things in the middle. And I'm going to type in, sorry, I got sidetracked with this comment. I'm going to type into the chat. So Sunshine Savannah says she's got her dogs have been having it. I have a recipe for this. It's amazing. It's super calming. But I've got a couple of different things. I'll post it in here in a second. Yeah, that's amazing. Sorry, just catching up with the chat. A lot of people are under attack. And so that's why doing your different cleansings and stuff and really putting that intention, these protection energies around you is super important. And I love it. Her parrot loves to like show up for the meditations, and it's just amazing. Oh, I love it. Thank you. Sorry, I'm trying to think. I'm gonna put it out too for everyone on, regardless of where you're watching, because if you have a pup who's got hot spots, if they have it, broken skin, and it's amazing, and it's not going to kill them if they lick it, but it's going to taste really awful. They're not going to want to lick it. So let them get a little taste. It ain't going to kill them. But so put this stuff on. I know it sounds kind of weird. You can try doing with coconut oil first as a carrier, and do a little bit of lavender if they have like mosquito bites or simple things like that. But especially if the skin is broken, you got to take a little more extreme uh, I guess dynamics or whatever, but put this into like a little container, and just, I literally have a container. I always keep it in like my pantry where it's cool and like tucked away. And just, I mean, because it's fantastic if, say, they get like if I don't keep the grass down, one of my girls, she will get an allergic reaction on her belly. She is a little bit sensitive, but it's all hay. And so, I mean, it's kind of like, yeah, like I totally get that. And so it can strike like odd allergies and stuff can strike at any moment. Or if you go out to different areas that they're not used to, it can be allergic reactions as well. And you can put that on them, and it's gonna be really good for them. I love your parrot. This is amazing. Her parrot loves to like hop in on our meditations. It is like so cute. I know that she thought in the beginning it might be like a negative, but it's like literally purring. It's just the cutest thing ever. Yeah. Um, yeah. And see, the problem is, um, if you don't take care, like, and this comes into like where it's like the whole area is healed and soothed, and it's got the water barrier and stuff to it too, because of the Destin, the extra strength. Do it as thick as you want, and it can be, because I even put it on my horses too. Like I use it on all my animals if they ever get into something too, to where it needs to be healed, because like them grazing out in this too can start an allergy bloom on their muzzles and stuff. And so I've got to have something that's like super thick. It'll like, I can like smear it on, and even though like they'll try to rub it off, it just won't come off because it's got the Destin in it. It's phenomenal. I love it. But yeah, apple cider vinegar, all of these. Yeah, these are all over the counter, sunshine. They're, yeah, you can literally just go into like the basic, it can be at a drugstore. Most grocery stores carry it too in the first aid section. They're all, the Vagisil has like, its moisturizing is intense. And so it's phenomenal for just really irritated, dry, sketchy. Plus, if it starts to get yeasty, which some dogs, I know, my dad has a, oh my gosh, I totally just blinked on it. I can like picture him, but he's got like a really curly coat, big floppy ears. They're very known for skin infections, and he almost always gets a yeast infection when they come to visit us in Texas. And so it can even be things like that. And so if they have some sort of like yeasty thing going on, it'll kick that ultra moisturizing. My gosh, I can't talk. And then like the triple antibiotic coming in on the other side, and then the Destin takes care of the thickness so that it's hard to come off. And then lavender is amazing. It's amazing when it comes to just like overall healing properties. And again, putting into this different energies and stuff. But that's if it's getting really bad. You can, if it's starting to, you see the dog starting to itch, you can do, like I said, the lavender and the coconut oil to try to head it off once everything's healed, but to get them over this hump so it doesn't get super infected and everything else. That'll help for sure. Yeah, if you can feed raw, I always recommend it, honestly. Yeah. And you know what, too? If you guys, there's this amazing stuff. It's called Wondercide. I use for, because my pregnant mamas cannot have any pesticides. I've got grazing animals, and it's like essential oils on steroids. But it's amazing. And I do like flea and tick. And I spray, if you guys are going out to like any woodsy areas, there's this you can do your own spray, but they have, it's like basically like, again, essential oils on steroids and stuff. It tastes icky if it gets in the mouth, so they're definitely not going to want to lick it off or have anything to do with it. But like I spray it on my horses too. I spray it on their legs every morning before they go out to pasture, put it on their face and their manes and stuff. So if you're going out or you notice the premise or property, especially if you're in communal living, may have like fleas, ticks, chiggers, depending on where you're at. I'm not sure, but chiggers are so freaking tiny. You have to like look and you'll see them as you're like scrubbing your legs and stuff. So those could be it too. And that can absolutely start in a reaction and uh, it could be a variety of things where it turns into a yeasty thing. If it gets infected, it could just turn into an infection. There's so many different directions. And that's what I love about this stuff is regardless of what main directions it could go, it takes care of all of it. So it's just kind of like a one and done. So poor baby. Yeah, this is also perfect too. Exactly. I love this. See, y'all, if you were just tuning into for the first time, definitely like and subscribe because seriously, we have some of the most phenomenal, spiritually patriotic people, family members in our chat all the time. I love y'all so much. Like for real, they are so smart. They're always helping people out. Like y'all are phenomenal. I love you guys so much. So if you guys are feeling like an outsider, so many of us have been like ostracized by our families. We've been like shunned out from each other and just really kind of having to accept that separation. Flood up our Telegram. It's in the description. You can hop onto our Telegram channel because that's where the most of us hang out for the majority of the time. But yeah, you know, just tap into that too because we're not alone. None of us are alone. We have so many of us, and that's the thing is like we feel a lot of the times like we are alone. But I guarantee you, there's someone in your area. You probably won't recognize it because you're probably like terrified to like poke your head up, but I guarantee you there's someone else. And then you start finding another and another and another, and we start connecting. And that's why I love it so much. Even being able to chat in like Telegram, thankfully has been amazing. It hasn't kicked everybody off so far. And just being able to connect, especially people who are struggling with different things, you know, because I'm so glad I got to answer your question, Savannah. I pray this helps. Email me. My email's in the, I'll type it in, but let me know how they're doing because that stuff can get super tricky. It can go, especially if it's a young dog, if you happen to have a young dog that something like this happens to, they just don't have as much reserves as an older dog does. So especially under 6 months, definitely keeping an eye on them should anything ever happen, just because they can decline pretty rapidly. But I'm glad we got to. But if you guys have questions and stuff, I know Sean was having some massive attacks. We were talking about it in Telegram and stuff, just really being able to tap in because I know I've been under so much attack lately. And I understand where it's coming from. But at the same time, you know, I used to get angry about it, honestly. And like, hence where I was talking about like that low vibration earlier, like tapping in, like, it's okay to have emotions. Like, it's neither to have an emotional experience from anything is not negative or positive. It just is whatever it is. It's just a feeling. But it's what we do with that feeling if we act on it. That's what can be positive or negative, and especially depending on your moral compass, how varying degrees, right? It is so imperative that we are able to not shove away, you know, like we have a reaction, we're like, ah, no, run away, right? Because then when we run away, it'll definitely persist us. But if we hold space for it and acknowledge it in our controlled setting and we control ourselves, holding that space, yeah, this event, person, thing, it'll still happen. But when we don't emotionally engage, we can still feel the emotions. That's not a bad or positive. It just is. But when we don't engage, when we don't participate, when we don't consent, when we don't step into some sort of communication agreement, they don't have consent to engage us. They have to have our consent. And if you're new to all of this, it's really just so annoying to me personally, pet peeve, personal pet peeve, how they're like, oh, you engaged us, so you consented to our negative whatever. Or you didn't say no, you can't do that. Or even if you did, there just wasn't enough of you to like cause a big stink, right? The way they accept consent, the dark entities, energies, right, literally is your participation in a conversation with them. Now they've got the ability to access you. I know it's weird. It's super backwards how I still feel, but I'm like, I accept that it is what it is. I don't like it, but now that I understand, I know where my enemy is coming from, then I know how to defeat my enemy, right? Talk about it all the time. Know thy enemy, defeat thy enemy. This is how we do it. This is how, we're able to minimize and mitigate the impact the dark energies, entities, whatever you want to call it, has on humanity as a whole. Comes back to starting with us. Oh man. Yeah, and it's been, I think so many people are feeling the same thing, and um, it's just, it's exciting. I am so pumped for like the new world and everything coming, and just like how we start shifting. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. And definitely as we getting into just the consciousness theory, like the theory that I've gotten my downloads on, that we're I've got to still put some of the stuff together for it, but really starting into the research of being able to actually measure the energies. Because what's so cool that we've been researching, or I've been researching and developing and stuff in my own puppy program, like for the last 4 years, 5 years, literally doing these things with my dogs. And what's cool, because like with dogs, they develop so much faster, but they follow very general guidelines of humanity, or that humans do. And it's cool because you can see how you impact them, by 8 weeks, they're about age 2 in a human. And so you can see through time as well how these dogs, have a more connectedness, like quite literally. I've had so many people that are like, I swear this dog is reading my mind. Like they know exactly what I need. I didn't need to train them. They're so connected to my family or to a person or whatever. They're like, this is kind of weird actually, like how connected they are, like this kind of weird. And that's like such a common response that I get, because I follow up with my families, and it's amazing to see. And I did it on my 2-year-old too, and just literally you watch him and he's so connected to everything, so explorative. And literally this is how they showed me, like my guides have showed me where, we had like kind of like the older generation. This is your, I would say 50s and above, who are spiritual light workers. They're the ones that really kind of got it started. Then you've got the crowd that's like my age, between like late 20s, even early 30s, up to like the 50s. And then you've got the younger stages who are really just rapidly blossoming and coming into it, because they really were taught at a younger age. This is where my kids are at, 9 and 10. And they're just so heavily coming into their own power, super engaged. Like my daughter she bought herself a mala bracelet with like the right intentions, and just like such a healer, such a light worker, super powerful. I am just like so excited to see where she goes, because but again, it takes work on my part to show her into the way to be, right? All of us, that's right where we're at, right? We've got to help bring in the other generations below us to really start harnessing these powers at a younger age and not shut it out. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I know for me, I was taught to shut it out. I was taught like conform, do this. And for me, I've never been able to conform to that standard, which is funny because I did so well in the military, but I was in leadership positions that I did the best in. And I guess maybe I got to throw my own like vibe into there, which I did. So maybe that's what kept me so well. But it's just totally okay if you are like that too, because we have such this beautiful strength in us that we need to just be able to share and bring forward with the world, because we were divinely created to help bring in these heavy just things, and holding the space and really putting the intentions and doing the work for humanity, and really having to go against the mainstream grain, if you will, but for a higher divine purpose, for like, something that we're being told to do, divinely, that we're being guided. We know intuitively this is what we're supposed to do, like however it manifests, because we all have these senses. We all have the ability to connect into our own higher, like ourselves literally vibrating at a higher being. And it's just, we have the capability, So really quick, the different tips, as I just realized how long I'd been talking. I was like, we need to meditate. And because I don't know, a lot of y'all are watching me on your lunch breaks. I absolutely love it. Especially kind of bringing you through like hump day. Absolutely my favorite time of the day. And it's just, oh man, it's amazing. So the tips. So we did a cleansing energy last night, or, cleansing practice, something that's like 2 minutes, super simple to just, if you when you start to build it up, ideally getting to like 10 to 15 minutes a night. That's ideal. 10 to 15 minutes first thing in the morning. That's ideal. But start at like 2 minutes, right? Whatever it takes. And really just kind of sitting with like the different intentions that you want to set for the next day, really holding space for that restful night's sleep, waking up at a certain time. I always joke that I don't need an alarm, but my kids do. And it's simply because when I go to sleep at night, I set the intention of like, okay, I'm going to wake up at this time and I'm going to have, this amazing night's sleep. And every night I put it forward that attention. And I know when I haven't done it, not only because I remember not doing it, but also because like I feel like complete shit and I don't wake I do have an alarm in case I always forget, and to let me know when my kids have to be up, because those things do happen. And I always can tell that like my energy is depleted. I just don't feel well. So it just, even if you do just that to help you process, and especially though, if you've had some problems, like I'm going to process or I'm going to deal with whatever big negative event tomorrow morning after I've had a great night's rest. What this does is you're putting your intentions out there that disconnect from any negative things that are trying to impact you during this, because you're literally stepping into however long you sleep, that many hours worth of just like mulling over your intentions, putting forth that energy, and your brain will start subconsciously working on everything that you are wanting to do. And then as soon as you wake up, literally, I'm like not even sitting up. I literally roll over, find my book and my pen, and I just start writing. And it's always like weird, like not really feasible, like the first line, and then I start to wake up enough to where I just write whatever comes to mind from that I remember from the night. And if you can, work your way up to like 10 to 15 minutes in the morning as well, doing this, really kind of meditating on what it was you thought about the night before, so that you can start recalling these things easier in a way that because even if it doesn't make sense to you like in the moment, you'll just do it anyways. It doesn't matter. Just write down anything and everything, because you'll get downloads later on and it'll be like, oh, and you'll go back to that because you'll remember exactly where it was at. You'll flip right to it and you'll start going through in detail what it is that you dreamt about, or whatever it was, the vision, the whatever, right? Going through, because it'll start making the connections. But again, you've got to put in the effort. You've got to put in the work to do this. So you're still pursuing. But do that. And then the same thing with like your cleansing, definitely cleansing from the day. The morning, I highly recommend cleansing as well. Definitely the writing down first thing, whatever you dreamt of. But I notice a difference when I cleanse just and set the intentions and call in my guides to just really help me go through my day, help guide me, all of the things, right? And I notice a big difference. It's super helpful. So those are the two things I highly recommend. And it can even be, so like if you have a negative thing come up or something that's like a negative attribute you need to change and work through and process and do whatever change, you can even start doing, I find myself doing this when I feel stuck on problems or things come up that I don't know how to handle. I will put the intention before bed of, come the morning, I have greater clarity in how to divinely resolve the whatever. And that I have, just like a better understanding, because your subconscious will also start problem solving in a productive way, not this emotional, like, oh my God, I'm going to die, even though it's just like a little cat scratch kind of a thing, which, if left untended, cat scratch is going to absolutely. My son's preschool teacher literally had her ring finger had to be surgically removed because her cat scratched her. I was telling her what to do. She didn't want to do any of the first aid things. It immediately got infected. And then it got so bad, they had to literally surgically. So like, yeah, if you leave the cat scratch, to just not be dealt with, absolutely. But if you deal with it, you address it, you put the little bit of medicine on it or whatever you needed to do to heal it. In the beginning, that wasn't as much. You were able to better deal with the situation then in the magnitude it is in a much smaller way than it is if you let it get super big. So yeah, like you lived, your right hand still mostly functions, but you're missing a finger. Like, and so that can be um, how it goes out. So, all right, y'all, let's get into this meditation really quick. I thank you, Sharn Zeolite. You turned me on to it too. It's super great with like removing metals and stuff. The kind I got tastes kind of like bubble gum. It's not terribly bad. You put it under your tongue and it like absorbs super quick through the like that part down there. Just put a few drops and stuff down there. It does. It works so quick and so well. What's up, SoCal? New Jersey. Oh yeah. I know that you had a problem with that too. This is talking about the zeolite. If you have fillings, don't do that because hers started to get like pulled out. I'm gonna get some water really quick. All right, y'all. So I want y'all to get comfortable. Oh, I've been sitting too long. Get some water if you need. My cat is so stinking happy. They are loving this. It rained again last night and it's so long out here. Like, we got to shred. They're having the time of their life. My other kitties. Oh, shit. My other kitty is down there just like watching the buds. Oh, and also too, y'all, if you guys go into the description, if you're in this transformative process, right? In the description, wherever you're watching it from, there is a link that says to schedule. You can do like a 30-minute free consult with me where we just really start breaking down the different things and like the different paths. It could simply be, I have some really great free content that I can absolutely point people in the directions of and give them like kind of like a different lesson plan that has everything put together nicely for them. Or simply, like going on to like full-blown coaching sessions or talking about your diet, whatever things happen, whatever it is that you're going through. If you want some just kind of like general guidance to really start getting going and get started, schedule that consult with me. You're out 30 minutes of your time. Like that's all you're being costed, right? It doesn't cost. And I do that because a lot of times people are pretty able to self-sustain, but they need a starting place, right? They need that ability to kind of like get moving. And so I do that too. If you are in that phase, just putting that out there. He hates singing bowls. Oh, poor baby. I'm not sure. Your parrot likes them, but your cat doesn't evidently. That's amazing. My cats love being around them. All right, y'all. Calling in 4,400,000 angels and guides of the highest divine being to come in to connect with us, to protect us, to guide us, to help us tap into our higher divine beings where we are able to have a greater connection with our guides, to have a greater understanding of wherever we're at in our journey, to give us more information to be able to move forward into our path, and giving us divine protection of every interaction and being in place that we are able to go through, that you are bringing this powerful, like just divine light bubble around every single one of us, our homes, our children, every place of impact we have, wherever we go, wherever we step, that we are divinely protected by all of our guides and our higher dimensional beings who are here to protect us of the highest divine good, that you help guide us in all the conversations, that you protect the people that we have conversations with, and place those bubbles, those protection bubbles over them of that cleansing energy to help them connect deeper into their beings and just continue this effect on, and just really being able to have this beautiful divine protection as we go, and just continue to place this no matter wherever we step, no matter what it is, that we're able to have the courage to step into that, knowing that you're with us and helping to guide us. We thank you so much for your protection. Amen. All right, y'all. So get comfortable, stretch out. I can always tell when I've sat for too long. Oh. All right. So close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. Listen into the sounds of nature as they encompass you and move you through just this beautiful divine time. And as you're sitting here just getting lost into the sounds of nature, you feel the ground energy pulling you down and into the earth's core, feeling this wave of peace falling over you. Take a deep breath in, let it out. Feeling into this grounding energy, connecting your human body into the earth's energy, becoming one. Feel this beautiful, positive, grounding energy. Take a deep breath in, let it out. Now feel like a piece of strings tied to the back of your pants, and feel it go up your back and all the way up as it pulls your chest, your chin, and your eyes up. Feeling that openness and elongated through your spine, this energy flowing upward and into the cosmos in this divine energetic flow. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. Feel this positive energy, just feeling more energized, lifted up, understanding, divinely connected into this energy as it pulls you up and creates this infinite loop of energy connecting back down to your ground and just coming back up in this perpetual movement of this beautiful, divinely harmonic energy flow. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. I want you to imagine this bright orange chakra about 2 fingers below your belly button. And I want you to imagine yourself taking it out of your body, this beautiful, brightly shining orange chakra. And as you're examining this bright color, just sit with how it looks. Acknowledge how it feels. Does it feel excited and creative and just sensual and in tune with their emotions? Or does it feel shut off or cold or distant or scared? How does it feel to sit with your sacral chakra in your hands? As you sit here and observe your chakra, I want you to imagine you have this rag of this beautiful, highly divine, bright, pure source energy. Just as you take this cloth and you start to just buff out your chakra, all the fear that has started to come is just being beautifully and divinely healed. All of the things you were scared to connect with, scared to tap into, they're being divinely healed. Continue to buff out all of these different blemishes, fears, things, distractions notice what distractions have presented themselves as you were getting ready to engage in a highly divine activity or whatever event, and you were distracted by some really odd events? It doesn't have to be horrific. It's anything that is taking you off your path of living in your highest divine, beautiful self, fulfilling everything that you came here to do, that task, that life, that piece of the energetic puzzle that helps humanity ascend higher. What is taking you away from that? Continue to buff out your sacral chakra as you just allow these things to come up. Acknowledge them. And then feel this loving energy towards them. I want you to feel this beautiful, loving energy towards every blemish, smudge, imperfection as you buff it out. As we get ready to speak these affirmations, I want you to feel these emotions behind them. Repeat after me. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Feeling into this beautiful healing energy, you start seeing your sacral chakra just start vibrating higher in this higher intense energy, fulfilling that creative side, that sensual side, the side that says, I am fully aware of how my human body is feeling at any one given time, and I am a full alchemist of able to shift that energy into something that had an impact on, and is able to shift it into something that is more divine and pure. I am in full control of the energy flow within inside me. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. Now I want you to imagine putting this chakra back into right below your belly. And imagine it just emanating from your body, so bright, from that lower abdomen, just this beautiful, divine, highly energized, bright orange sacral chakra energy that emanates into the earth, where you are able to really tap into these powers that we have. I want you to repeat after me. I am worthy. I am creative. I am in full emotional control. I am capable. I am sensual. I deserve to be loved. I am worthy. Take a deep breath in. Let it out. Come back into your body. Start opening up your eyes and stretching. And oh man, that's so funny. I love your parrot. It's so stinking cute. Oh, I love this. See, y'all, this is what I mean. Greg, you are just amazing. You are just like always flooding the chat with just this massive love. When I say, y'all, we have this amazing community that is in our Telegram, in our chat. Like, if you're feeling lost or you're feeling any kind of just negative way, or that especially feeling isolated, y'all, look how beautiful. Like, I'm going to start crying. This is so beautiful. This is what I mean. This is how divinely connected we are, just showing up, thriving for each other, really rooting for humanity. And this is what I mean, just showing up, asking, how can I help? What can I do? How can I serve you? Because when we come, now, not from a doormat perspective, never, over healthy boundaries, always have healthy boundaries. But when we come into that servitude where we serve humbly others, into this ability to really just being able to just step into that space, y'all, we are always taken care of. I don't care what you say or what you try to do. When you are coming from that pure servant heart, you are always covered. I don't know how it happens, but it always happens, and it's always divine, right? I love this so much. Oh no. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'll have to speak up or do something. That's all right. Hopefully you guys listen to the crickets. I love y'all so much. Let me know if you guys want to connect and do that 30-minute consult. And yeah, I love y'all so much. I will be on with y'all for sure next week, but most likely sooner, because I feel there's a lot of stuff coming down, and there's like, it's been just like a ton of different channelings coming in. I'm just like, dude, they're like, we're getting ready. Like, there's a lot of stuff coming. I have no idea what's coming. I just know some shit's coming down. So, side note, I love it. Yes. Amen. Amen. I love it. Absolutely. Just like having that heart of overabundance and just love, right? I love y'all. There's my kiddo. It's one of my light workers. He's definitely a strong little man in his own. So raising up right, y'all. I love y'all so much. Have a blessed day.